Hey guys, so I'm starting my fifth Whole30 today. Woo, super exciting. And I just wanted to go over why I still do it and everything you saw in my Instagram post. So quick recap, Whole30 is a program started by Melissa and Dallas Hartwig. It's Whole30.com is their website. They have a bunch of books out, tons of resources. You can get all the rules and shopping lists and meal plans all on their website. Really incredible. So it's 30 days of like no grains, gluten, dairy, soy, any processed foods of any kind, no sugar or sweeteners of any kind, no comfort food, or like no junk food of any sort, even paleo treats, and no alcohol. So it's a good reset. It's meant to be done for 30 days. Some people do whole 60s, whole 90s. Can you do a Whole30 with with further food restrictions? Whole30 is great because people who are on the standard American diet, it's already restricting quite a bit. But what if you have food allergies? Just leave them out. I know some people even do like vegetarian Whole30s. They talk about that on their webpage. They actually have a lot of specifics. Can you do an AIP Whole30? Absolutely, which is the autoimmune protocol. For me, when I do a Whole30, I have to leave out nightshades. I can't eat tomatoes or bell peppers, eggplant or white potato, or anything with xanthan gum. And currently, I'm sticking to a very like keto version of paleo. So I'm not doing starchy vegetables, and it's really working for me. So this Whole30 will be a low carb, low starch Whole30 for me, which I think might present some of its challenges because I definitely do get some calories from like pork rinds or like fat bombs or just some kind of like snacky foods which are allowed on like keto, which I couldn't have on Whole30. But I'm thinking of all these great nutrient dense real foods which are going to fill that box, which is going to be great for 30 days. So absolutely you can do Whole30 to fit your needs. Although I say if it's your first Whole30, trying just to do the most basic, like just the program as is, because it can be challenging, such a big change. But I do think that the first one's always the best one. It's where you learn so much about yourself and your eating habits, and you feel just like the difference is amazing. So yeah. Some people have asked me why don't I eat Whole30 all the time? I do in fact eat paleo. It's been a little over 2 years. I eat paleo all the time. I don't 80-20 it. I don't really cheat. Like I don't believe in that cheat days or whatever. But yeah, I manage my health through my diet. So for me, eating paleo is a lifestyle. It's how I feel great all the time. And within paleo, I'm still fine tuning always and trying to find how to make myself feel better, how to balance my hormones, how to keep my autoimmune disease in remission. So it's an evolution, but for me right now, sticking to paleo is what works. So that's what I do. And why do I still do Whole30s even though I paleo all the time? I love the program because it's 30 days to be like paleo perfect, you know? No one's perfect all the time. I'm definitely not perfect all the time. I mean, what was it, like 2 weeks ago I had avocado brownies for lunch instead of like an actual meal. That's not ideal, you know? But that's okay. We don't have to be perfect, like model paleo citizens all the time. But on a Whole30, you are. So it's 30 days of like the best, cleanest eating you can do. And that's awesome for 30 days. It's a great reset, a great reminder of what good, clean food can do for you. And I just love the program. I did my first one over 2 years ago, 30 days before I turned 30. I was at rock bottom. And it was the catalyst that started all of this, my healing journey, this blog, finding the autoimmune protocol, putting my autoimmune disease in remission. So I love the program. When I say I don't cheat, I'm not saying that like cheat days or non-compliant foods or sweets or whatever are bad. I don't like to demonize non-compliant foods or any food. Food is just food. It's, you know, there's foods you eat and you feel great, and there's foods you eat and you feel not so great. So what you do with that information, like that's what matters. It's the food isn't bad. It's just, you know, I've never met a brownie I didn't like. So I think like, I know I can eat avocado brownies. Like I have, you know, that recipe, and I love it, and I eat it on my low carb paleo, and I feel great. I can have one a day, which I don't, but because I'd rather have other more nutritious real foods like salad and seafood and things like that. But I think that it just depends on your relationship, or like your emotional status when it comes to food. I do feel like for some people, some foods are triggers. If you know you're gonna abuse something, if you know you're gonna overeat something, is that a good choice for you? I think we can look at food in those ways. Like, I'm an abstainer. Yes, I love rice. I love, oh my God, French fries. I love fries. But I can't eat potatoes anymore. So yes, okay, I could eat potatoes. I choose not to eat potatoes because I know I feel better when I don't eat them. So I just abstain completely. And then I found foods that I find joy in, and that I also feel great when I eat them. So I like to eat those foods because it's a win-win. So yeah, I don't like the whole like food guilt thing. It's not a good place to go. But just because you can't eat certain foods during a Whole30 doesn't mean they're not good for. They're not okay when you're not on a Whole30. It's just, you know, especially the sugar thing. It's just a good detox. It's just a good reset for your body and your metabolism and your hormones and everything. So my advice is to take the reintroductions seriously, especially after your first one. Don't just day 31 go and eat everything. Take it slow, add things in one at a time, see how you feel, and you'll find out which foods are worth it for you and which foods aren't. And that's part of Food Freedom, which is another Whole30 thing, which Melissa Hartwig wrote a book about it, which is a really good book. So yeah, I do Whole30s just to remind myself of how this all began, and the best way to nourish my body, the cleanest way ever. So yeah, that's why I do Whole30s and what I think about them. And I will be posting along on Instagram, and I'm gonna really try and meal prep a lot this round, and write up my meal prep plans for you each week and post them here. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Instagram or email me, or just contact me through the blog here. Bye everyone.